Hello guys, this is Mike from McProgramming.org. I am going to show you how to do multidimensional arrays today. And what is a multidimensional array? Well, technically all it is an array of arrays. So let's do a two-dimensional array. And let me do a little comment right here so you can kind of get a visual of what it should be. I'll do a 3x3 array. You can do any size you really want. Let's just say I want to put 3, 4, 5 right there, and I want to put 55, 72, 8 right there, and I want to put 2, 24, and 7, and that is outside of my comment zone, so I'm gonna have to do another line. Alright, there we go. So this is a 3x3 array. It doesn't have to be same rows and column size. It can be all different. But let's see, how can we code that up to where this is what we're used to seeing as an array right here, 3, 4, and 5. That's an array. But this is it's a different array, so how can we group them together still? Well, that's going to be called a multidimensional array. And like I said, it's just going to be an array of arrays. And rows go like this. This is row 1, this is row 2, and this is row 3. And these are the columns. Okay? So keep that in mind as we code this. It's going to be set up the exact same way as we set up an array. So we're going to say int, and let's see what I can call this. Let's just say 2D array, and we're going to have 2 of these brackets now, these square brackets, and we need to initialize the size, and it's 3x3, so common sense tells us to just put those numbers in there. If it was just these two right here, you would want to put 2x3, because this first one, I'm just going to call it R for rows, and this will be C for columns. And some other things you may see, and if you're looking at other people's work, is it might be row and col, C-O-L. Those are common ones, or I and J. So just know that the rows comes first and the columns come second. But I'm just going to work with this square array right here, and we need to initialize it. And the way we do that is the computer actually, when it reads it into memory, it reads it as one array, but to make it smoother for us to understand what goes in what spot, we're going to make an array of individual arrays. So we have these outside curly brackets right here. That kind of sums up the whole 2D array thing, and then we're going to have each single array separated by commas inside of it, and then we need to separate each value by comma. So inside this first curly bracket, we're going to say 3, 4, 5. So let's do that real quick. 3, 4, 5. This one will be 55, 72, 8, and this will be 2, 24, 7. Alright, so now we have our 2D array. And how do we access elements out of this array? Well, that's pretty simple, but one thing to keep in mind from what we did last tutorial is we can't get this nth element. So what I mean by n is the size of the array. So it says 3, but we can't access the third thing. We can access the third thing, but not the index actual number 3, because remember, we're counting 0, 1, 2. That's the 3 indexes we can access. So the biggest one we can index is 2. So let's print out a couple of them. Let's say cout, and we will call the array 2D array, and we want to print out, let's say I wanted to print out 55. Well, it's in row 2, so we would say 2, and it's in the first column. Well, actually, I'm sorry, that's going to be a 1, and it's in the first column, so that's going to be a 0. Alright, and then let's just give it a new line. And what else should we do? Let's do another one. Cout. I'll do the last element, 7, right here. So as you know, it's in the last row, so it would be 0, 1, 2. So let's do that real quick. 2D array, index 2 for row, and for column it's 1, 2, or 0, 1, 2, and so we're going to put a 2 right there, access it that way, say inline, and let's print that out and see what happens. Trying to get a 55 and a 7, and we did. So that is a basic 2D array, and the keys to remember inside of this thing is that the first index is row, the second is columns, and this is mainly for human readability, but the way the computer reads it is it's really just going to look at this curly bracket and this curly bracket, and everything in here will just be separated by commas, and you won't have these other curly brackets. But that's just for the computer. But for us, a good standard to really understand the way these arrays work, I mean, you can even do this if it makes it clearer for you, like this, and you can see that there are indeed 3 arrays of 3 elements, and that's where we got that 3 by 3. If we wanted to have, let's go back. If I wanted to just have the first 2 rows, what we would do is we would just say 2 right here, and we would just get rid of this altogether, and there we go. This one right here would it wouldn't run back for us, and it would cause problems. So always make sure if you're calling an element from an array that you are within the boundaries of that array. So thank you guys for watching, and if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe below. Thank you guys.